friends, what's up? How's it going? Today we are going to talk about one of my favorite authors. I'm so happy to be back reading her again. It's been a couple years since she released and I was thrilled, absolutely beyond measure, to get to read this book. The book we're going to talk about today is The Bad Wedding Date by Vicki James. If you're new here, welcome. I would love to have you consider subscribing. I love to share about the romance novels that I read here on my channel, and this was a great video for you to click on because the author, Vicki, man, I just adore her. I was like a kid in the candy store when I got the ARC and I opened it, and here's the funny thing about it. I don't think I'm the fastest reader, but I'm also not the slowest reader, and it took me 10 days. 10 days to finish this book. And at first I was getting kind of annoyed with myself because I was like, what is taking you so long? And then I realized at about day 7 that I was reading slow. I was only reading like maybe 10 pages a night. Part of that was probably that I was just tired. But the other part of it was I was so involved and immersed and in love with Charlotte in this book. I was savoring everything and I really felt her a lot. How Vic was writing her, I just really connected with. So I was reading really slow. I adored Fraser as well. Let me tell you, really liked him too. But there was something really special about Charlotte. So when I realized kind of what my mind was doing, I was like, okay. As I mentioned, Vicki James is one of my favorite authors, and so I will include in the description box the other videos that I've done on her other books. I actually am fortunate enough to have the paperback for A Girl Like Lilac. She wrote my favorite MC series ever with Lou Stock. She conjured up in her beautiful mind my book husband that still has lasted the test of time, Marcus Anderson. So if you haven't read her yet, highly recommend. And if you have read her and you're just stopping by, definitely check out those videos I have below. Okay, let's get into it about the book. The book is about Charlotte and Fraser. Charlotte is this kind of self-imposed black sheep of her family. She doesn't connect with them. The book takes place in London. Her family is part of like the London elite. Her sister's marrying the mayor's son. It's very like star-studded wedding with a lot of like important people invited. Charlotte doesn't want to be part of the life that her family leads. She has never felt connected to her sister. Her sister is quite a bitch. Oh my God. Not nice. Her mom, you know, she always felt like a disappointment to her mom. Her mom's critical of her. And her dad, she felt like he could have maybe said some things through her life to not allow her mom and her sister to treat her and family, extended family, the way they do. So he's never really kind of stepped up to the plate with her. She decided, I'm not part of that life. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want the money. I don't want the lifestyle. I don't want anything. And she has like gone off on her own. She's got her really good friend. She lives in her own apartment. She is a care worker, which basically she works at a nursing home. I really liked Charlotte. She was like, this is my life. It's pretty simple. It's good. I'm happy. I don't want to be part of that. But now it's her sister's wedding day and she has to go, obviously. And the thing that I thought was interesting, she was not standing up in her sister's wedding. She just like takes the bus, gets on the bus and like uses public transportation to get to her sister's wedding like a guest would. What Vic was trying to give us with that, I got. It showed me with that there was definite separation between them and made my heart hurt because how uncomfortable is it to show up at a family event like that? And it's like the immediate family event, and she's not part of it. Uncomfortable. It made my stomach hurt for her. She's got a really good guy friend, Jonah, who's going to go as her date, her support system. Jonah backs out at the last minute. She's like, well, crap. Great. So she goes anyway. She's feeling quite lost. So she's kind of in her head about it. And all of a sudden, this dude sits down next to her on the bus. And she's like, oh, They strike up a little bit of a conversation. It's Fraser. He works his way into her bus ride. They get off the bus. He says, I hope you have a good time at the wedding. And she's kind of like mouth is almost like hanging open. She's like, oh my God, this guy is talking to me. And like, he's super hot. He's really kind. She feels herself very comfortable around him. And if I can, I will put up the picture that Vic said was his inspiration. And I can't remember if he's a rugby player or who he is, but that's all I could see in my head. That was Fraser to me. I was right there with Charlotte. She's like, ooh, In any case, they get off the bus. He's like, I hope it all goes well. And he starts walking away. And lo and behold, he walks into the hotel where the wedding is. She's like, wait a second. Wait, where are you going? This is what Charlotte says about Fraser. This man was suited and booted, real life dapper Norseman. The guy looked like he could protect you from the world, then destroy you in private. He was soft without having to negate his obvious strength. Charlotte was super easy to like. Fraser was saying all the right things. She reacted exactly how I would react in that situation. So I felt really connected to her. To make it super simple, and the title of the book, Charlotte asks him to step in to be her wedding date and to kind of fake a relationship with her. He agrees. And I was dying. I was laughing. I was swooning. She was so funny because he was kind of yucking it up a little bit. And she would be like a little startled at the way he was acting, sort of. Like he just stepped right in and assumed the part as her date / boyfriend. And this was a really funny situation. Well, it wasn't actually really funny. It was actually kind of sad because her mom was critiquing what she wore and she's already uncomfortable being there. And then her mom says stuff to her. But you know what? Fraser comes in and kind of saves the day. And I was equally giggling and like had tears in my eyes. It's from Charlotte's perspective. Hey, where's that shoulder scarf thing gone? I love that on you. Fraser brought his knuckles up to my cheek and grazed the obvious blush there. Not that it matters. You could be wearing a car seat cover and you'd still be the most beautiful woman in the world to me. I was going to kill him or marry him at dusk. I wasn't entirely sure which way my emotions were swinging. Oh, right? The wedding part of the book takes up a good part, beginning of the book. We get a lot. And I loved how Vic wrote that because it really showed and gave us a foundation for them in that he saw things about Charlotte because she's in such a vulnerable place being at her sister's wedding. He saw things that he might not have realized had they just met and started dating. Because he was so focused on her, he picked up on these little things. It blurred the lines as to why he was there. Because as Vic is giving us all of that and blurring those lines for him, Charlotte doesn't know any of that other part. And so she was like writing two stories at the same time that were running in tandem. And we do get both perspectives in this book. And I loved that Fraser has that something that makes all the women in the room look at him and like are jealous and like wondering why he's with Charlotte, because none of them have a high opinion of her. Charlotte has this innocent honesty, and although she doesn't think she is, inner confidence, that they discount her. Everyone around discounts her. And here she shows up with Fraser, and they're all like, what the heck? The wedding is cringy with how her family and the society people that she's been raised around are treating her and looking at her. And I felt really bad for her. But Fraser sees all of it. And he can't help but act. He can't help but be in her corner. Because of course, oh, did you hear Macy? Of course, he's there for a specific reason, but the lines are blurred now because he's noticing things and he's pissed. I loved him for that. Again, this is from Charlotte's perspective. Fraser's lips still lingering against my skin as he looked up at me through his lashes and held my gaze. It was a gaze that said, I don't know you, but I've got you. And in that moment, it was all I had to cling on to. I don't know you, but I've got you, his kiss told me again. And a little bit later, it was funny how one man's wink could turn you sick, while another man's could make you feel reborn. I was on the edge of my seat because I was like, okay, when's this whole other thing gonna explode? And I'm not gonna go that far into it, but Fraser has this whole side to him. And if you look up the book, Vic was really good about stating all the tropes. And there's this part to Fraser that I found very interesting. Fraser has this life's work that he is doing that, let me tell you, in 2022, if we had people like him and his guys in the world, I would be very happy as a woman. I wonder, do we have men like these guys in the world? I loved his attitude. I loved his job. I loved what he did. I love that edge to him. There is drama in this book. It is not rainbows and butterflies. Fraser's edgy. He does stuff. There's an undercurrent for what he does for work that kind of, as a woman, as soon as you realize what he does when you're reading it, you're going to take a deep breath and be like, oh, I thought Vic wrote all of that so beautifully. It made me think. It touched my heart. So not only is there drama, there's also chemistry. Vic writes relationships so freaking well. And Charlotte has this little vixen part to her that Fraser brings out. And she brings out in him, he says at one point, he's like, how did you make me needy, obsessed, reckless? He said a bunch of things and he was like, oh, you know, and he just like can't keep his hands off of her. And he just needs her and cannot wait to just, you know what I mean? At one point she says, F me like you don't have to take care of me. And then when it's over, kiss me everywhere like you're sorry. And his response is, Jesus. And then she goes, or do I need to beg a little bit more? I was like, oh my God. Woo. A little bit later, Charlotte says, how the hell did a fake wedding date lead to this? Indeed, honestly, this is not just like a campy fake dating book. This has tons of meat and a good story that you can just sink your teeth into, a great love story, a good sexy time story, because the chemistry between them is freaking fantastic. I loved the whole darn thing. And then, and I debated even talking about this, and I know that Vic watching this right now is going, oh no, she's not going to. And no, I'm not, Vic. I'm not going to talk about it. But I am going to say that at the end of this book, she did something that just had me mouth open, tears in my eyes, just beside myself. And I have to say, I have a love-hate relationship with it. But really, when it comes down to it, I love that she surprised me that way and made me that emotional. And so I have to be like, props to you. Holy crap. After reading, I don't even know, every single book that she has written, she still surprised me. And I love that. Let me know if you have read The Bad Wedding Date. I'm going to try to dry my tears right now. Or any of Vic's other books. I would love to hear. Don't forget, I've got a party going on in February in my group on Facebook. The link is down below in the description box. Vicki James will be there participating, so definitely come over. It's going to be all February long. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.